In the verdant mountains of southwest Colombia, the country's Awa Indians are struggling to survive. Bordering Ecuador and with an outlet to the Pacific coast, the ancient lands belonging to the Awa tribe have become a strategic corridor for Colombia's armed groups and drug traffickers smuggling cocaine. It means the 35,000-strong Awa tribe is caught in the middle of drug turf wars and an armed conflict spanning nearly 5 decades that pits government troops against rebels. Of Colombia's 102 indigenous tribes, the Awa people, a tribe of semi-nomads and hunters, have been particularly hard hit by the violence. Since 2009, around 60 of their people, including children, have been killed by armed groups, and over the last decade, thousands of Awa Indians have been driven from their jungle reserve to escape sporadic clashes between the army and rebels. They also flee their homes because they fear their children may be taken away as fighters into rebel ranks. Living in remote reserves, their plight often remains invisible and consequently ignored by most Colombians living in cities. Reaching deep into Awa reserves involves passing army checkpoints and days of trekking through the jungle. Colombia's Constitutional Court says the Awa, along with 34 other indigenous groups in the country, face extinction because of continuing violence of their lands. Colombia has between 3 to 4 million internal refugees, one of the world's highest, and its poor indigenous people disproportionately bear the brunt. Of the country's internal refugees, Indians make up around 15% of the total, despite representing just 2% of Colombia's total population. On top of the violence, the Awa say more and more landmines are being sown on their lands by the FARC, Colombia's largest rebel group, forcing families to uproot. Local gold and timber companies are also eyeing up Awa resource-rich lands where fortunes are to be had. Palm oil companies have already encroached into Awa reserves, and the Awa are trying to rebuild their splinter communities on new lands, inching ever nearer towns and the main roads. Indigenous leaders say that when they leave their tribal lands, their traditions, language and way of life disappear. The Awa people just wish to return to their ancestral lands and to be left alone in peace.